Yep. Yeah, we're in.
Okay. Like I said, it's the mid-season edition. Technically, we're halfway through the season. Nobody is mathematically eliminated yet, though most of us are trying to be. We got a lot of low scoring people with bad records at the bottom half of the league, and then some heavy hitters at the top. Like I said, I'm joined by Bocek and Trevor. We're going to go over some mid-season awards. I also have a new feature to the stream, which is the live chat that you should be able to see on stream now. So that's exciting. So feel free to talk your shit because now it'll be available to the public. So keep the racial slurs to a minimum. Looking at you, Beck. And we should be good to go. Alright, we're going to start off, as usual, with the weekly recap. Alec got the written weekly recap out a little late this week, but that's alright.
He's too busy fucking his boss.
He may have been too busy fucking his boss. That is a possibility.
Low-hanging fruit that doesn't get old.
I know, but it's still funny every time.
He texts me every week and is like, "They're talking about my boss again." So I just had to throw in a jab.
What are you gonna do? It's too easy sometimes. Just like his boss. Anyway, this week, the Certified Lover Boys, that's me, defeated Aaron Beck, Pepsi Zero Hope. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was nervous when I was up 55 and Beck had Mahomes still to play and the Kansas City kicker. Luckily, Mahomes is falling to pieces before our eyes. And I ended up getting that dub pretty easily. 125 was actually a decent score this week. A lot of people had shit weeks. Aaron O promptly beat the Lord out of Sean. It really wasn't that close. Bocek, you got the biggest win of the week. How'd that feel?
Don't really think putting up 136 is that good of a feeling when you beat someone. I think it's more of Alec was the worst manager of the week.
No backup quarterback. First person to not play a quarterback this year. Oof.
Yeah. I mean, like, I understand his rule change. Like, he wanted to make it. And I think I think we can all agree it's fair.
Yeah.
I got burned by that in week one when they announced Beckham Jr. out at 3:30. But going into the week without a backup and waiting until Sunday is a very bold strategy, and it didn't pay off.
No, I wouldn't say it did. Let me pop this out again. I want to make sure the chat's working. I think it should be working now. Okay. What else we got? Test. Nice, it works. All right. Eric finally loses, and he loses Derrick Henry. Just an overall bad week for Holloman this week. Mitch gets another W on the board. I think he has the longest win streak in the league now at 4. And then, Trevor, you lost again.
Yep, lost again. Third lowest score this week, so we're making some improvements there.
You went over 100. That's big.
And I actually have a quarterback now. So I did trade with Beck for a quarterback who was on bye. Had my choice at all of these shitty quarterbacks and picked the shittiest of the shit for last week.
In your defense, I would have picked the same thing.
We're back. Yeah. My second choice was Jameis, and he got hurt. So either way, I was screwed.
You beat 2 people this week. You just didn't play them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt last week when I had like the
step
second
one,
highest
play
score.
the people. Yeah.
Well,
So, I don't know. I think I'm back. Well, all was feeling pretty well, and then Robinson's hurt. Khalil Herbert for me is hurt. Like I finally started to readjust my running backs a little bit.
did Khalil Herbert
and
get
they
hurt
both
too?
got hurt. Yeah, he went out. They both might be okay. They're both questionable right now, so hopefully they are. But I feel like I've gotten my team at a point where hopefully I should not get last this season. I'm coming for Beck.
All right. The Beck and Trevor Bowl for last place now. But we can look at the overall standings and see that really Alec is hanging out down there. But we'll start at the top as usual. Aaron O only lost 1 game, the lowest points against in the league. That's pretty crazy. Won 4 in a row, spending a lot of cash, making a lot of moves, but I mean, it's clearly working for him. He continues to get dubs. Mitch as well continues to get dubs. Mitch is riding the back of probably the best running back tandem in the league right now, or in our league, with Najee Harris, who catches 19 passes from Ben Roethlisberger, which counts for 19 points, even if he only gets 12 yards total. And he has Vanillatron, Cooper Kupp, the best wide receiver the league's seen since Megatron retired. Mike continues to fall ass backwards into third place. No one really knows how that's happened, but congrats, Mike, I guess. You did just...
It makes me uncomfortable seeing him do well.
I don't understand how he trades Ezekiel Elliott for what I considered a horrendous offer and wins that week.
It's almost like those teams that try to tank and then they win like the last 3 games of the season.
Yes. See the Jets last year when they could have had the number 1 overall pick, and then they...
Yes.
I mean, he was playing me, so let's not put a
Let's not go
whole
crazy.
bunch of credit into this one.
It's Mike winning, and we're all surprised. Eric still an insane number of points, but he lost again, so somehow he is 4-4. I guess it's probably attributed to the fact that he is getting whooped by points against, as is Sean, which we'll see in a minute. Bocek, you're in 5th. Should be feeling okay, I guess. Not a lot of
very
points.
average points for and points against. That kind of explains a 5th place team is very average.
You're like the Dalton line of fantasy teams right now. You just kind of exist. And it's me in 6th place, up from 9th by winning 1 game. Just because I have so many fucking points compared to these shitters at the bottom, but I keep losing. Well, hopefully things keep swinging my way, because I've made 30 moves, which is second only to Mitch, who has basically swapped his entire bench out 3 times this year. Since all of his team is always hurt. Then, what do we got? Sean, who needed 5 Dalvin Cook tutters. That name I'm sure won't stick around. Railing Roars OnlyFans was a good name, but rest in peace, that one. Sean's also getting kind of clapped in the points against category, but he made a trade this week, so maybe already, and we haven't even had waivers clear, so maybe that's good news.
Yeah, he finally got rid of Cordell Patterson after texting me, asking me why no one wants Patterson.
I wanted Patterson last week.
I don't know why he didn't send me offers. I just lost Calvin Ridley. I would love the other piece of the...
It was hard to explain to him. It was like, nobody wants your 8th-year journeyman that's been a failed wide receiver and kick returner everywhere he's been.
Yeah, but he's also got
now he's a running back?
I wanted him.
He's got 140 points this year.
I was just saying, he's great.
Amazing. He's been amazing, but, like, it's got to stop, right?
No. You can put him in running... when bye weeks come up and you can put a guy in wide receiver or running back position, he's perfect.
I did offer Sean a trade for him because I wanted that running back wide receiver combo, but
I offered a trade. Well, it was in the text thread. We started with some ridiculous trade over the text thread, and we got so close to actually making a trade. And then Patterson was a part of it. I wanted him bad. I would have done anything for him.
I offered him something with Mike Evans, Patterson, and somebody else, and he was like, "Let me wait till Mike declines this one."
Well,
and then Mike did it.
Speaking of that trade, this is probably the first time I've ever seen Beck, in my head, win a trade. Congrats, Beck. Beck is in 8th place, 3-5, but I'm pretty sure he fleeced Sean here by getting essentially an equivalent player in Cordell Patterson to Keenan Allen and an additional player, so he got to dump Brandon Bolden. I forget who the other player was in that. It's T. Higgins. Yeah. Beck got 2 very startable players, and he traded away Keenan Allen, who's been kind of a disappointment this year. So,
yeah, Keenan Allen has 40 less points than Patterson.
Yeah.
When Sean first
and
told
Beck
me
got something on top of it.
And Beck got T. Higgins, who's getting better each week after he was hurt at the beginning of the year. So
when Sean first told me, I thought he burned Beck, and then I looked at Keenan Allen's numbers, and I was just like, ugh, not good.
Herbert has been really bad, other than like 2 weeks where he's put up like 40 and 50. Other than that, he's been like he looks, as a professional quarterback, he looks good. As a fantasy quarterback, he's been okay.
And those weeks he goes off are the weeks that Alex sits Mike Williams.
Bingo. Exactly. And speaking of Alec, he's in 9th. At least Alec's love life must be going well, but his fantasy life, in the term of fantasy football, not fantasy sexual relations, is not going nearly as well. Though he does have a lot of money to blow, so I anticipate Alec spending something like $90 or $70 on Michael Carter this week to try and shore up the running back room and hope Mike White is the truth. And then, Trevor, we come to you, who technically you're not last in points.
No, and I'm feeling pretty good. I did not realize half the league was 3-5 or worse.
Yep.
I'm one game out of almost 6th.
Yeah.
So I was feeling really bad for the last like 3 weeks, but I look at this and I feel pretty good now.
Well, we lost him.
And Bocek left.
I knew it was going to happen once.
Yeah. No, but I feel pretty good. So,
And
he's back. All right. Bocek just makes it more exciting. There's just potential that disappears at any time.
Click the X button at the top of my tab bar.
Wasn't even the computer's fault. It was his fault. Okay.
No, that was my fault.
That's fine. Well, as usual, we look at Yahoo projections, regardless of how garbage they are. Mitch is winning the league now. Congrats, Mitch. Yahoo says you're great. It's kind of starting to even out, except for this weird thing where Alec goes from 9th to 4th. And just goes absolutely crazy by only scoring 1997 points and getting railed in points against. Don't really know how that happens.
Yahoo just gave me 4 extra wins this week.
Yep.
Compared to last week.
They got big dreams for you, man. Trevor, they have you definitively in last. That probably doesn't feel that good.
No, it makes me feel better.
That's true. If anything,
Yahoo putting me in last makes me feel a little bit better.
If anything, Mitch and Aaron O should be sweating right now that Yahoo's like, your team looks great. It's like, oh, fuck. We're doomed. I don't have any Eric stats this week. Eric said he might bring us some cool stuff next week, so I came up with my own stats, which we'll get to later. But first, it's the shots of the week. All right, the shots of the week. This one's going to be easy. It's Alec. He gets both. The biggest blowout, Alec's margin of defeat was 62 points, which is the second highest on the season besides him last week, which was 67 points. Bocek, you would have beaten Alec if you would have played just 3 starters and a kicker.
That's got to make him feel better that it wasn't his fault. Dak didn't matter.
No, he was getting railed.
That's also really shitty. That's just bad.
It's real bad. He had 2 people score in the 20s, and then no one else. The next highest scorer was his San Francisco defense, which scored 9. And that's even his bench. His bench was 0-0-0, and then like a 3 and a 7.
Yeah, I'm not upset about it. Thank you, Alec.
That's a woof. And Alec's first dumpster fire this week also. He only had 2 people do really well, Cole Beasley and Aaron Jones, and it was the lowest score of the season besides when Aaron O absolutely collapsed against me, which was a surprise to us all, and he's kind of figured it out since. That's his only loss of the year is to me, by the way. I'm the spoiler.
I don't like that he did one shot on Sunday. He should have to do them all at once like Trevor did. Can't space them out.
I think if it's a different,
different punishment.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Biggest blowout. So, if it was his 3rd biggest blowout in a row, he should do 3. But
okay, that's fair.
He apparently sent it to us.
Yeah, he wants us to live watch it.
All right, you guys want to live watch while we're here? Yep. All right, Alec, this is for you.
When to go?
I'll count it down. 3, 2, 1. Audio's gonna be terrible here.
Doomers, I'm back. I just got off work. One of those days where let's take some shots, as I have repeated as biggest blowout. You got a double shot tonight. So
does he reckon that Sean jersey?
I just want to know if he owns shirts. Is this his uniform when he goes to work? Because he works for his boss, or he's dating his boss.
Narrow every week.
Does he know that we're not into his nipples?
Someone
I might have bossed him this week, but I'm not into his nipples like his boss.
I do love
He
the
really
Olivia
plays
Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're here for that, but Jesus.
That gives me a soft spot in my heart.
Yeah. I'm assuming his work uniform is sleeveless because he is dating his boss. So congrats on the casual Friday look every day, Alec. That's very exciting. Enjoy those fireball shots. I hope tomorrow morning feels nice and easy. And you're welcome for the fireball because I'm pretty sure that's a bottle I bought you like a year ago. All right. That'll add our shots tally and put Alec firmly in second place. Still behind you, Trevor, with 6. Congrats. Hope your liver feels nice. Eric and I are still the only ones to not technically take a shot. I have lost the ice bowl, but I have not been dumpster fire or biggest blowout yet. Eric obviously is putting up insane numbers of points, so it's very hard for him to be either of those. And then Beck, Sean, and you, Botchek, are sitting with 1, so you guys have done pretty well this year. Pictures of consistency if you haven't taken a lot of shots. And Trevor's been consistent in the wrong way.
Average again right there. I'm always average.
6 shots for 6 losses, right?
6 in a row.
Yes, sir.
At one point this year, I was 2-0.
I remember, and we thought DJ Moore was going to be the wide receiver 1 overall besides Cooper Kupp, and then, well, things got a little different. So, coming up next, this is a thing I spent most of the afternoon on. I did some research into our previous Pongo League of Doom records, dug through the archives, went to Canton, checked the Hall of Fame records, and I have our segment this week, which is the Midseason Awards.
Oh, he broke his ankles.
Segment thing anyway.
Intercepted. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
He runs to the 50. He runs to the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes.
So I have an award for every single person starting from first place to last. Some of these are pretty weird and obscure, but that's kind of what I was able to find to make things at least kind of interesting. Some people's teams are just very average, at Botchek and at Mike. Your teams are just kind of exist in the world of fantasy football. First, we have Here's My Number, Call Me Brady, which is the most inconsistent capitalization in the league. But Aaron O gets the Need Tutters Award because he has the most touchdowns scored. He has 61 touchdowns this year, which is crazy. I think the lowest is Beck with like 23.
7.6 a week is insane.
Yeah. It's he has Thielen, who is a touchdown machine, and he has Brady, who's basically throws for every score the Buccaneers get. How many rushing touchdowns do the Bucs have? And they're like one of the best offensive teams in the league.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
He would potentially beat our league record by 0.5.
Is that 7 touchdowns per game for his starters?
Yes.
I'm trying to see how many weeks it's been for me to get to 7 touchdowns for my whole team, including bench.
I don't think I haven't
You were-
one for.
I'm
I think I
currently
broke
looking.
50.
For the record, you weren't the lowest. Beck is.
Okay, I had 3 touchdowns in week 8.
Beck right
Including
now
my
is the lowest
quarterback.
touchdown rate, which
And
is
take out Aaron's outlier week where he had 70.
I had 2 touchdowns in week 7, so 5 total in the last 2 weeks.
yeah.
And I had 2 touchdowns in week 6, so 7 touchdowns total. If you add week 5, I'm at 9 touchdowns. So it's been 4 weeks for me to have the same amount as Aaron has
Per week.
on average per week,
Yeah.
including my bench.
Yeah. Aaron does not
That's
get a lot of
insane.
yards. He fucking scores. It's insane.
Yeah.
I'll let Botchek take the next one. This is Mitch.
So when you sent this to me, it took me a very long time to try to figure out what you were trying to call this award until I broke it down. So your mom's C cup, which also deserves probably best name, great Photoshop. The Vanillatron Award, commonly hogged by Sean, but
Yes.
this year goes to Mitch for the highest receiving yards per game, and it's by a white guy. 2,836 yards, and he averages 354 a game. That is fantasy football numbers. The league record is 367 a game by, I don't know who that is.
I think this was Hollabin 3 years ago. I think Hollabin was Valar Morghulis.
That was BC. That was before me.
And I think that was when he had Tyreek Hill and somebody else. I'm trying to do my, like, I remember such random shit, but I'm pretty sure Hollabin had, like, Michael Thomas and Tyreek Hill in the same year. And that's basically what Mitch is being able to do with just Cooper Kupp.
He's almost getting 100. If he starts 3 wide receivers, he's almost getting 120 yards per receiver.
Hollabin, I'm sure you were Valar Morghulis at some point. I'm like 99% sure. You were Young Boats in 2019. This is 2018.
He was Boats and Young Host last year in 2020.
Yeah. And then he was Scott's Tots one year. So I don't know. Whoever Valar Morghulis was had a batshit crazy team because Mitch's team is wild because this is counting Najee Harris receiving yards and Jonathan Taylor receiving yards. It was Mike, okay? Mike went crazy in receiving yards. I don't know what Mike did, but apparently he was wild.
I don't believe it.
I don't either. Mike's just claiming. Mike's just claiming.
Mike goes, "It was me. I did it." It's a Game of Thrones reference, but all right. Speaking of Mike, Trevor, you can take Mike's award. So let me know if you get this reference.
Well, I just Googled it real quick because I have not actually seen this movie. I think it's Pirates of the Caribbean.
You've never seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
No, I have never seen Pirates of the Caribbean. But I looked at the meme, and one of them says, "You are without doubt the worst pirate I have ever heard of." And then he says, "But you have heard of me," which I think is a reference to Mike being the worst playoff team that we're gonna see.
Exactly. That's the joke. How the fuck do I have two people that have never seen like one of the highest grossing movies in the history of film?
I got the reference.
Are you like, who's Jack Sparrow?
No, I know who that is. That's Johnny Depp.
That's his most iconic line.
Yeah, see, I've never seen it though.
Oh this is the tale.
You guys got required viewing this week.
I thought I did pretty well for not knowing it to figure out.
You figured it out. You Googled it. Jesus, I didn't know I'd have to explain.
I didn't know what it was.
Anyway, Mike is the lowest scoring playoff team, partially because he gets to play people like me, putting up 100 points and getting easy low point wins. He's 138 points behind the next lowest playoff team, which is pretty absurd. How many weeks are we in? 7 now.
This was the week 8.
Week 8, yeah. So 15 points or so per week on average, lower.
I have more points than him, and I'm outside of the playoffs.
Yeah, he's 7th in points scored. He's a very much below average team, sitting at 5-3, coasting.
This
picture.
This is your two's fault. I beat Mike. I did my job. You guys did not.
I think I lost to Mike. Yeah. No, I played Mike this week.
What is Mike's? I want to see like who Mike has played. Has he just played all of us down in like 8, 9, and 10 world?
Mike had like the what's it called? He has the Tyreek Hill blow up weeks where he suddenly beats the shit out of a team that does really well because Tyreek had 70 and shit like that. So Mike's a weird team. Mike is
that like when Trevor beat Arno?
I beat Arno.
Oh yeah,
I did not.
That was weird. I was in last place. He was in first, and I beat him. That was weird.
But we've heard of you.
Yes, we have heard of you, Mike. You do exist. And Mike, if Trevor was going to give a pretender, or if Alec was going to give a pretender award, it would probably go to Mike this year.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm going to officially raise the pretender flag on Mike.
Oh yeah.
He is my pretender of the year.
And he just traded away Ezekiel Elliott, so we'll see how Debo works out for him the rest of the year. Next, we have Eric, who I gave the best defense is a good offense award because, boy, he scores a lot of points, but he still loses. Eric was now, well ahead of the pace to break the league record for scoring in a year, which is crazy because we've artificially inflated the points. Because quarterbacks score more points per touchdowns and defenses score more points. And Eric is like... Well, that also attests to how insane Alex 2 Gurley's 1 Cup year was in 2018. But Eric's averaging 153 points per game. That is so far ahead of the rest of the league. They're like, I think the average league score per week is somewhere in like the 1 teens, and Eric's averaging 153.
I don't think I've made it to the 150s yet.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
but we can all
I haven't seen like
Trevor
one.
looks scared by saying that.
we can all
I
salute
just saw the
Eric's team.
hundreds for the first time in a few weeks.
That's true. But Eric losing Derrick Henry officially in free fall. Eric started this stream with a chat that just said "hang me," so he's clearly very happy, doing well. Make sure you check on your friend. Suicide is not a joke. I'll put up the suicide hotline in the YouTube video.
No, my highest is 146, and I think that was against Mike.
Yeah, and Eric is averaging more than your highest score this year.
Eric's just going to complain about 3 times more than usual and somehow pull out a W.
I don't want to say it, but his complaining is like justified this year for the first time ever.
How much waiver money does Eric have? Eric has $59. $59 are going on Jeremy McNichols. And you,
Oh no, he's
you
playing
better
me. I'm
believe
blocking
it.
that. I know he's going for McNichols, and he doesn't have a backup running back. I'm blocking that. I got $74. He's not picking that up.
Do you think McNichols is going to get the carries? Or is Peterson?
Or if Peterson, I don't know, but I think
I don't know if
Alvin's
Peterson will play this week because Peterson won't be on the team until tomorrow.
What do they have to run right? Take the handoff. He doesn't have any like zone blocking.
They might split carries week 1, so I'll probably split my waiver dollars. 37 on McNichols, 37 on Peterson.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks.
Has Eric actually had more injuries than everyone else? I feel like everyone's had.
No, David has to win that.
Yeah, I've had so many.
I mean, I traded for Chris Carson, and a day later he went on IR. So that was
David has mental health injuries. He lost Ridley.
I have lost Russell, Calvin, Kareem Hunt, Raheem Mostert in the first week of the year, James White the day after I get him on, or the game after I get him on waivers. I've lost like multiple starting players. It like for the season. It's not like, oh, they're going to be back in 2 weeks. It's like they're dead. So like it's me or Alec that are falling to pieces because of injury. And honestly, weirdly, Mitch's bench is entirely IR trash that he's hoping comes alive at some point. But his starters are so good it doesn't matter. All right. Anyway, moving on, we have Botcheck. Trevor, you want to take Botchecks?
Yeah, I'll take Botchecks. He's the fuck the waiver wire
Fucker,
award.
The fucker.
He is a fucker. Least points from the waiver players. He's also not really. You're not actually buying any waiver players. We just talked about that.
Yeah,
so it kind of goes hand in hand that you spent the least amount of money and you also have the least amount of points from those players that you've not spent money on.
Good drafting.
I've thought about calling your award the "I meant what I said" award because you stuck with all the players you drafted, but
it's either good drafting or too much attachment to the players I drafted.
That also is a possibility.
So this is Mike's name that we referenced earlier, right?
Yeah.
He had such good wide receivers that he just did not need anyone from the waiver back in 2018.
3 points per game for waivers is crazy.
That's a kicker.
It's like a kicker.
That's a kicker, and he picked up the shitty one. That's a good thing he didn't go the whole year that way because he's so dead.
I think that was the year he had New England's defense that was basically an RB2. Like, they were scoring like 20 a game, and so he just never had to like switch defenses because New England was matchup proof.
That was 2019 because I was in the league, and I was not in the league in 2018.
Okay, then whatever happened that year, Mike's team went crazy.
Because if he did it the year with New England, he got last place. So if he got 3 points on the waiver wire in last place, he obviously didn't try.
I'm not convinced Mike was
also.
I don't know. Mike says I might not have known what I was doing back then. I'm not sure you did, man. But I have a really, really cursed Photoshop of this same picture. But technically, this is a picture of Josh Allen wearing a hat. You can kind of see where the brim is right here. And so I tried to Photoshop Botcheck's head with the hat on it. And it looks like a little bit weirdly real. Like, you look a lot like Josh Allen. And so I was like, I can't do that. Because I couldn't tell it was you.
I have a Ben Roethlisberger head in that picture.
Yeah, that was I tried to make it artificially weird because it looked too realistic when I put you under the hat as Josh Allen. I was like, oh,
I
I
kind
don't
of
like
want to see
that.
it.
Maybe I'll send it in the group chat later. It was,
Add it to bot checks.
yeah,
Team
maybe
logo.
physically
Put it to
uncomfortable
TikTok.
doing that one. Bocek, you want to do mine?
Yes. David gets the Belichick versus the Jets award, aka the highest average margin of victory in his wins. So how many wins do you have?
I have 3 wins, and I am clapping cheeks in those wins.
When you win, you slap the shit out of people. 42.58, which the league record is 50 by, I think that's the Baker change was Beck in 2019.
Yeah, I thought that was an insane. I was going through Yahoo. I'm not gonna act like I did this like insane amount of like lofty research. Yahoo has league records, and I was able to. I went into like league records and stuff, and the average margin of victory it had me, and I was like, how? I have 3 wins, and then I went back and checked, and I'm just throttling people that I win. My week this week where I won by 30 was my lowest margin of victory.
If I remember right, I think Beck also placed towards the bottom of the league in 2019. So it must just be if you have a couple wins and you win big.
You just get blowout
That's
wins.
your
This was Mike in 2019 was the big.
Because if you have a lot of wins, like it's hard to get. Because obviously that makes your average. I mean, could make your average smaller.
Yeah.
But
I just thought I was like, this is a great stat to prop me up. I beat the shit out of people, but I might not be a good team, but boy, do I win hard.
so unlike the last photo, your head does not fit.
No,
on the
my
underscore very
Photoshop,
well.
my hair is terrible for Photoshop. It's way too big, and I also have no pictures of myself. So it's I hate that the picture of me is the worst Photoshop, but I had to do it, and that's my boy DeAndre Swifty. So my best Lions player, even though he underappreciated this week, he's still my favorite. All right, this is my favorite. This is other than maybe the Mitch one. This is my favorite Photoshop. This is Need 5 Dalvin Cook Tutters. We got Sean as Justin Tucker here. Sean gets the Go Big or Go Home award because he does have the individual highest score this year with 191.6. Someday we'll break 200, I'm sure. But this Valar Margulis motherfucker, Mike is just all over the record books. He's in Canton all over the place with 206 points scored. It must have been something crazy that year.
I'm glad I wasn't in the league that year because it seems like he beat the shit out of all you guys.
I feel like Mike didn't make playoffs. That's why I'm like concerned by how insane his numbers are. I feel like Mike finished 7th. Yeah. I wish we could look back that far. But woof.
I feel like Mike probably just had like 4 big games. He was like
It must have been.
4-12, but his 4
He went
just crushed
crazy.
people. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just can't picture Mike actually making the playoffs. Like even this year.
Mike's gonna be 10-3, and we're gonna be like, no shot. Mike makes the playoffs.
Yeah.
Imagine not being able to picture a fantasy. There's literally fantasy football, and you can't picture the guy in the playoffs.
It's too disastrous. Oh my god. All right, congrats, Sean, on your big week. I hope the rest of the year goes better for you. You're kind of getting whopped in points scored. So this is I'm gonna hit this reference since I'm not sure you guys will get this, or does anyone know what this is?
Come on.
Okay, Trevor, you take it if you know.
This is the Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps award. Basically, Beck has turned absolutely nothing into something through his waiver wire. 46 points per game from the waiver
He
wire.
does not know the movie reference.
Yes, it's from which one was it? I just watched it.
First time?
Yeah, I watched it like 2 weeks ago. No,
I had no idea. I was hoping you wouldn't know either.
It was the first Iron Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Jeff Bridges yelling at some lab attendant. I almost linked the clip because
I didn't know it was an actual.
Oh, that's because he actually built it in a cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, he built the OG Iron Man suit.
Yeah, and Jeff Bridges is yelling at the guy because he's like, "Why can't you build me an Iron Man suit, you dumbass. Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. And then he flips his tile. It's such a great scene. You guys need to watch more movies.
Well, that one also came out like 15 years ago.
Yeah. Which is probably before Pirates of the Caribbean.
It was I don't think it was. But
When did Iron Man come out?
Oh, it's definitely after.
God, it's the IMDb portion of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Let's find out, when did Iron Man come out?
2008.
And let's do Pirates of the Caribbean. It was. Where's the dates?
Oh, Iron Man 1 was 2003.
And what was Pirates of the Caribbean?
I have no idea. I'm guessing. This
Why
is my
is there no
vote.
date on this?
No, Iron Man 1 was 2008.
And Pirates of the Caribbean was 2003. So Pirates of the Caribbean way before.
I got 1 year right. Wrong movie.
Anyway, back to fantasy football.
Anyway, this is partially why I think Beck's going to end in last.
Bad drafter.
Yeah. Shit
I'm just
drafter. A
sticking,
lot of injuries. CMC might come back.
Or he has
He said
zero
it's all
emotional
from,
attachment to his draftees.
He said it's all from Chuba Hubbard. Is that his
Chuba
name?
did play well against me this week.
Chuba.
I think it's Chuba, but I like Chuba. Sounds dumb.
I like Chuba.
Does he has McCaffrey too?
Yeah, McCaffrey might play this week. So look for Beck to come alive when McCaffrey comes back for 2 weeks and then breaks his ankle. All right, I want to do Alex because Alex is hilarious. White Claws and wide receivers. He changed his name to Fantasy Football Team. I'm assuming as a reference to Washington Football Team because Alec is the most likely to resemble Dan Snyder as a human. Alec gets the Mario Party Bonus Star Awards, which there's a fuckload of them. If you go in the record books, Alec has so many. He has the least points per game. He has the most single-game passing yards. He has the least single-game passing yards with 0 because he didn't play a quarterback. He has the least single-game rushing yards. I don't know how the fuck that happened. I'm assuming it's the week Saquon got hurt and he was just boned. He has the least average rushing yards in the league. He has the least field goals made in the league. And he has the largest margin of defeat, the second largest margin of defeat, and the smallest margin of defeat in the smallest margin of defeat in league history to Beck.
At least he knows that he has 2 records that are about unbreakable.
The smallest margin of defeat, no shot. Anybody comes close to that.
0 yards passing is also no shot.
Yeah, that is. Those are incredible records. So if Alec was playing Mario Party, regardless of the stars he had at the end of the game, he would be awarded so many bonus stars for these weird ass unique achievements he has made this year.
It looks like someone's tickling his neck in that photo.
Yeah, I took a really bad picture of Alec and I grabbed that one.
Should have taken the one from him on the bed.
I don't have it. I should have texted Sean and got it. I have every single one of you has a Facebook search from me to grab the very first picture on your Facebook page, except for fucking Hollabin, who doesn't have a Facebook, so I have his LinkedIn picture. So he's gonna get a LinkedIn notification that said somebody viewed your profile, and it's me stealing his profile picture to put it on a stupid Photoshop. Bocek, you want to take Trevor's to wrap it up?
Trevor, to wrap it up, with a beautiful face on a bottle of Jaeger. Lacking Fundamentals Award. He has the least points from kickers and defenses. You're averaging 5.5 points a game from a kicker. Like, you just, fuck it, it doesn't matter. It's a kicker.
No, I go and get the best kicker available basically every week if they have more points than my kicker. And then somehow that kicker I pick up made like 2
You're
extra
averaging a 30-yard field goal and an extra point.
points. Yeah, I don't. It's hard to suck at the kicker.
Why don't you pick up whoever the Bears are playing, their kicker? Because they're obviously not scoring points.
Yeah, but they're barely even kicking the ball.
When
They're
Tyler
down
Bass
like
was on waiver, I
going
thought
for it.
Trevor was throwing 20 on that guy. Just fix that.
Can we talk about Sean trying to trade his kicker?
Sean always tried to trade his kicker.
He's like, anyone want Tyler Bass? No, Sean, I don't care if your kicker's putting up the most points in the league. Like, it's a fucking kicker.
It's 11.
I might start caring.
Yeah. Okay.
Apparently you
And you're
should.
also
This is
averaging-
your only problem.
You're
I need all the
averaging,
no, it is not my only problem.
your defenses are averaging 8 points a game.
I actually feel like that's not that bad.
Well, considering the league record for defensive points per game was 3.5, like it's better than that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's everyone else's? I would want to know what everyone else is.
a lot of people
I-
are
my
over
de-
10.
I have
Yeah, my
Buffalo,
defense
so
got 8 every.
I get like 15 to 18 a week.
Yeah,
Do you?
it's
Man.
there's a lot of people. Mitch is averaging like 17.
I had a couple of good weeks with the Titans.
So
And then I
I
was
got
texting
14 last week. I got 2. Maybe I'm not doing well.
I was texting Alec about keeping the Titans defense against the Colts, and he convinced me to drop the Titans defense. And then they gave up 30-something points and still had 15 fantasy points. What in the hell, man? So he was right on
Holliman's
one thing.
defenses are averaging 14.5.
Damn.
What are mine?
I can only see the most in the league. That's the
Oh.
only record I can see. But yeah, Trevor's average is bad at 8, but it's not even close to as bad as Beck's.
Yeah, but
in
my
2018.
kicker, I didn't realize my kicker is
It's
a point and
so
a half
bad.
less than the record.
Yeah, you're
It's
going to
really
set a
bad.
Guinness Book of World Record. If someone breaks a league record, can we print them off like a plaque that says like the Guinness Book of World Records, like lowest kicker ever?
Sure. That's up to
And
the
then if they lose
commissioners.
it-
But sure.
I'll just print it out from my printer over there and post it on the wall behind me. I'll print it.
Can I get it in an NFT?
There you go. I wanted to point out one other fun stat since this is the end of the stat section. For those of you who have been in the league for a while, I know we talked about Beck having horrendous luck with his drafted players. Beck's drafted players this year are still averaging 86 points a game. This is not a joke. Last year, Aaron O's drafted players through the season averaged 39.5.
That's because he drafted. No, he picked
That's
up Nihinheims for $40.
The worst team in our league is 45 points ahead of Aaron O last year. Aaron O's year last year was horrendous, and he did not finish last, and that's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
He should be applauded for that performance, and we should have known he was going to take over the league after apparently one of the worst drafts that's ever happened.
That number for Beck is going to drop since he and I basically just swapped teams.
It will drop, but it's holy shit. I thought that was a remarkable achievement by Aaron O.
That's 2 players. He played 2 players that he drafted.
Yeah. Like a quarterback and maybe like a good wide receiver. That's how it was.
He probably drafted McCaffrey and he got injured.
I don't remember who his team fell apart with, but yeah, it fell apart. Okay, we can do the predictions for the week because I don't have a segment because the Midseason Awards was the segment this year. I hope you all enjoyed them. Let me know if you want the photoshops of yourself to post as your new Facebook profile picture or whatever you're into. I have the raw files that I will happily send you. I don't know what I'm going to do with your Photoshop Bocek with Josh Allen. We'll figure something out to add to
You can
TikTok.
just put the name of my award, just like put it across the car like a sponsor.
That's a good idea. All right.
Still need Southwest too.
I know. I need Southwest. All right, let's do matchups of the week and wrap this up. I think we're coming in close on an hour. Who should we start with? Let's do Beck and Mitch. Pepsi Zero Hope versus Your Mom's C Cups. I zoom in here. There we go. Mitch is projected 139.5 against Beck's 113, and we have 10 minutes to go. Perfect. I don't know what to tell you guys.
Mitch doesn't have a defense and he's projected 139, so add about 9 more.
Yeah. Oof.
Michael Thomas isn't getting 14 on his first week back with Trevor
He's not even
Siemian.
coming back this week. They already said there's no chance he comes back. So he'll play Judy.
And he'll still be average at 138 with
Yeah.
Yeah.
without a defense.
Um,
This does have McCaffrey still out on IR for backs 113, so bump up 20 in the projections there. Maybe
Makes
who
it a
knows if
little
he'll
more
put up 20.
exciting, yeah.
I still like Mitch.
I do too, especially with how bad Mahomes is playing.
And Jonathan Taylor versus the Jets.
Green Bay's defense is no joke. They're good.
Yeah, and last 2 games for Mahomes has not looked great. Patterson could have put up 20 for all we know.
Yeah, New Orleans defense is good.
I was
And-
liking Schultz, and he only put up 3
Three.
points last week for
Well,
him.
he didn't have Dak. Dak will be back this week.
Yeah, I'm still going Mitch by someone said it. Yeah, Beck said it. Mitch by billion. Beck said it about himself, and I agree.
Yeah.
I think Mitch wins, but I don't know if he'll be by billion. It might be. That'll be one of the closer ones, I think. All right, who else?
I
We got?
give Beck zero hope.
Pepsi Zero Hope, Beck Zero Hope. All right, let's do Aaron O against Fantasy Football Team, which is Alec, who's starting 0 players. This makes it really easy to do this segment. Alec, thank you for that. For that reason and that reason only, I got Aaron O. He's projected 140 to 0. Going to be hard to overcome those odds. Devontae Adams hopefully is back for Alec. Dak Prescott will be back against Denver, but Dak probably won't have to play very much that game because they're going to beat the fuck out of Denver.
I say, although it's really annoying that we can't look at this matchup, like, I'm not going against Aaron O against the guy that just put up 70 points.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Trevor, your thoughts? This one I feel like we can move past quickly.
Yeah, I'll go with Aaron O. I was trying to find an excuse to be on Alec's side here, and I just can't quite come up with one.
If the Kansas City Green Bay game is an absolute shootout, like
won't be,
40
though.
to 40, then sure. But I don't see any other reason. Because then Alec can get Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams points, but I'd be surprised.
He needs to sit Mike Williams up until like 4:04 and then put him in the game so Mike Williams has to know that he's playing him.
Great idea. Love it. All right, then you got me against Mike. I have 2 players on bye, so this is not exactly the most accurate score. Zach Moss will probably get in there somewhere, so add at least 13 to mine. And then hopefully I am able to roster a wide receiver.
God, your bench is out, IR, questionable, IR.
Yep. Like any playoff-bound teams that want Kareem Hunt, send me your wide receivers. Any playoff-bound teams that want to wait on Calvin Ridley to come back and score 1,000 points because he was the 3rd highest targeted receiver in the league until he had mental health issues, let me know. I'd send both. Aaron O, wink. Mitch, wink.
Is Kittle coming back?
Nah.
God, you guys are projected 99 to 118. Like, why are you guys
that's-
allowed in this league?
This game sucks.
Fuck you. I'm 4th highest scoring. No, I don't even think I think I'm 6th or 5th.
I hate Mike's team, but I'm gonna pick Mike to win.
What the fuck? You hate Mike's team?
I hate Mike's running backs. They're terrible.
Yeah, he just traded away Ezekiel Elliott, but it was a good idea.
Who did he trade Elliott for?
James Conner and Debo.
Well, I guess Mike does not have a tight end.
Kittle, I guess, will be back. So he's got Debo and Kittle. So he's hoping for the high-powered San Francisco offense to go nuts.
I'm going to take David. I don't really understand why you're projected 99.
It's because Swift and Metcalf are out.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can add 13 for Zach Moss and potentially 9 for Dawson Knox or whatever receiver I figure out.
If you get a good waiver pickup, I don't even know if you will.
Yeah, all right, David.
You
I'm
get a
switching my pick.
drop
I'm going
David
with,
Johnson.
I'm going with you.
I think I'll win, but that's assuming I get somebody to fucking take Kareem Hunt from me.
I'd rather stub my toe than pick between the 2 of you in this matchup.
I'm really nervous about New England's defense against Carolina because I think they're starting P.J. Walker this week, and he's atrocious. Bill Belichick's defenses eat people alive. So I'm worried Mike's going to have a renaissance of the New England defense, and that'll score like 30, and so will Tyreek Hill, and I'll be fucked. But we'll see. I like my team construction better than his unfortunately, I have arguably my two best players. Actually, they are my two highest scoring players. They're both.
Yeah, you got a bad week.
Bad week to play Mike. What else is new? Mike gets the walkover. Trevor, let's do you next. You versus Sean. This is rivalry week. No, it's not. It's Mike versus Sean. Damn, Sean's projection 146, tier 120. No Godwin. Ruggs just killed one, maybe two people. I wish I was joking.
Yeah, I should probably drop him.
He's either going to jail or the commissioner's exempt list. So.
Yeah, it looks bad just having him. You're going to have to have like a PR statement as to why you're still housing him.
I can't drop him yet.
Sean traded for Keenan Allen and isn't even playing him.
Yeah, I was wondering that. It's kind of
I don't even think he's wrong in not playing him. I think he has better players starting. I just don't know why he traded back two good people for.
I was gonna say that means you're wrong for the trade.
Man, Trevor, your team is very interesting.
I'm gonna get crushed.
No, I think. Oh, I don't know.
My team is way better than it was 3 weeks
I
ago.
think now that you have El Freaky, I think you're back.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I was gonna be back. I gotta get rid of Chicago defense.
I don't know, dude. Aaron Rodgers against Kansas City. That's
I thought that I was gonna be in a good spot, and then I looked at Sean predicted to get.
That's gonna be like watching a pinball score go up.
This is the weirdest matchup of the week by far. I think this one could go either way depending, because like Lamar Jackson could have 50 against Minnesota. AJ Brown has been going nuts since he's gotten healthy. James Robinson might not even play. Darren Waller.
DJ Moore could put up 2.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll go Sean, but this one's a coin flipper in a fun way, not like a me and Mike way where you like don't want to look at it.
I really want to take Trevor, but
Beck had a good point with Ruggs gone.
That's good for Waller.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that one.
Mitch, I wish I could use waiver dollars for Ridley's therapy sessions. I would throw them all. Bring him back, baby.
If James Robinson plays, I don't know, he's playing Buffalo. You're kind of fucked on that one.
Yeah, the other negative that I have is
I'm gonna take Sean.
I have to swap Godwin with Devontae Smith, and he's either good for 15 or for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God Goddard's the target now. Thank you, Alec, for Goddard, by the way.
We got 2 minutes.
Yep, 2 minutes. We only got one more. It's to you, Botchek. This is the best matchup as far as seeding goes. 4th versus 5th. Derrick Henry obviously will not be playing for Hollabin, so we'll see what he does there. But Hollabin's receivers are so nuts that it still makes me nervous for you.
Well, he won't get a Tennessee running back, so he should look elsewhere.
Good point. Good point. You have the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs stack, which is nuts. Josh Jacobs sounds like he's gonna play. The Buffalo defense against Jacksonville is basically a running back 1. I mean, that could go for 20, 25. I'll take you this week, Botchek. I think Kyler Murray's
if I win this week, it'll be huge.
It's big for your playoff chances.
Yeah, it'll put me in the playoffs because I'll be over Eric. But I don't think I need to jump Eric to get in the playoffs. I need to take down Mike.
All right, we got 30 seconds.
Mitch, Eric, and then it's me or Mike at this moment.
Who you got? 30 seconds.
I got Botchek. It's gonna be sad to see Eric lose another one. Can't wait to hear the complaining.
I got Botchek too.
He doesn't deserve it.
All right, call's gonna end. Thank you everybody for watching. We're gonna wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed the Midseason Awards. We'll be back again next week as usual. Send me your segment ideas. Beck sent me a really good one this week. We're gonna be done. Bye everybody.
2, 1.